Hi everyone, this is James from CVG.
And Joel from Official PlayStation Magazine.
And today we're here looking at Sleeping Dogs. Joel, you went out to see this recently. It used to be True Crime. What happened in that process?
It did used to be True Crime Hong Kong. I went all the way out to Hong Kong to see it. Basically, for those who don't know, it was going to be published by Activision, who last August, I believe, dropped the game on the grounds that they said it wasn't going to be good enough to sell enough copies to justify the ever-expanding budget that it had. So basically the game was presumed dead until Square Enix bought the rights to the game, although not the name, which is why it's now called Sleeping Dogs, and have taken it through the rest of its development process to where we are now, with the game due for release this summer.
Okay, and for those who don't know, what's the general story behind it?
The general story is you play Mr. Wei Shen, who we can see in this video shooting and punching lots of men, who is a detective in the Hong Kong police and who has to go undercover into the triads to bring them down for some reason or other, probably because they're all gangsters and do loads of bad crime stuff. And
from the live action trailer and some of the chase sequences we're seeing here, it looks like they've gone for quite a cinematic look. Is that right?
Yeah, they have. It's a game that doesn't necessarily innovate of itself, but it sort of cribs stuff from a lot of other games that do things rather well. So, for example, the combat is very Arkham Asylum / City influenced, with combos being chained together, heavy and light attacks, and then little icons that come up for you to do reversals. There's a kind of free-running element to it, which is sort of Assassin's Creed light-ish, I guess, although slightly less interactive, so you can navigate the map quite nicely. So these things sort of give what is essentially a GTA structure quite a nice cinematic flavour and allow for you to actually enjoy the navigational side of things and the hand-to-hand combat side of things, which are typically quite bad in sandbox games.
Yeah, so it is a sandbox game because it looks like it is, but is it more like Mafia 2 where it's sort of linear sandbox?
No, it's very much a sandbox game, but I think they'll probably be quite pleased with you saying that, because I think the idea is that while it's a sandbox game, once you get into missions, it's sufficiently cinematic to make it have that kind of sheen that a linear game would have. But no, it very much is an open world, so there are icons on that little mini-map you can see, and there's a lot of side missions as well as the core story, things like karaoke, smart car racing, cockfighting and stuff like that. So it differentiates itself from something like Mafia, in which there was literally nothing else to do other than the story, and it very much is a GTA style game.
So from the hands-on time you had with it, what are your overall impressions from that brief look?
I like it. It's fun to play. It looks nice. It's probably not a class-leading game. I mean, you'd say Activision were harsh in as much as dropping it because it isn't good enough to release seems like madness, but at the same time they're probably right. It probably isn't going to be the biggest selling open world game or the best open world game out there. But you know, it plays nicely. The combat is probably amongst the best you'll find in an open world game, and you know, I can see it being good, if not absolutely great. It's not going to set the world alight, but I can absolutely see it finding a place within that genre.
It's Raymond. Yes, sir. Don't worry. Now they trust him. He's in.